Hey, live here in Rochester, New York. I'm in the town of Gate. And as you probably were not aware, earlier this week, Thursday, we had a serious issue with Google, Twitter, Facebook, to where they shut down the Rochester 585 radio news network. So, as you are probably not aware right now, Uh, I'm in the process of getting the radio back up, but it's not going to be under the same name. It's going to be now under the name Classic 85 News Radio, because Twitter, Facebook, and Google, which is Blogspot, which was normally what it was on, shut it down. And right now, we're working on getting the page up. We got most of the stuff up already, but we have not completed the whole entire thing. So what I'm got to do now is we got to get the uh, page up, and as soon as when I get the page up, uh, you're gonna see a little bit more of a change in what we're doing now. We're going to be extremely careful what we're going to be posting now. Anyways, we're not going to be following like some of these, like Hal Turner show news stories or anything in that nature, because we that's where part of this problem started. Anyways, we're suing. But one of the things that kind of bugged me um, was a video that I placed on uh, Rochester 585 News Radio, and it was involving a thing. Was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of cute. It was involving Trumpland, lock her up. And there's a video, actually a music video that involved Hillary Clinton. Uh, you know, when Donald Trump arresting Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, and all them guys. The thing was, uh, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook kind of didn't take lightly on that, and we believe that's probably was part of the cause of why they shut us down that quick. It's like a violation of First Amendment to freedom of the press, which normally does not usually happen, but in this case it did, and I'm kind of like shocked to see that this kind of stuff really did happen. And it bothers you because a lot of the press world today, you can't say something, or if you do something or you put something on there, you're labeled as a racist, a homophobe, all this other bullcrap that they have on here. I think it's just bullshit that you have the right to voice your opinion. You have the right to freedom of speech. You have freedom of expression. You have freedom of religion. You have freedom of whatever. This is called America. This is not some kind of other bullshit. This is something that these liberals, these what you call snowflakes, are kind of getting mad about. And yeah, and that's part of the problem that we're dealing with. But the point of the matter is that I just don't like being shut down without them sending me some kind of an email letting me know that there is a violation, or even telling me that there's a violation here that that could have been addressed and could have been probably been fixed. But they don't do that. They just go and shut you down. They don't give a damn. It's like screw you. Uh, Something like that I don't kind of like, but they do it. Twitter has banned, permanently suspended our account with Rochester 585 News Radio earlier this week, as well as, if you didn't know, Facebook shut it down. They shut us down completely. And we tried to put up another website on there, and they kind of rejected the radio page for some reason. Why, I don't know. But like I said, this is nothing new. We deal with this all the time. You know, but they don't understand too that a lot of people who do all this stuff go out and and do news stories that are important to the world to see. Um, I'm not a fan of Davey Vera, as you can plainly see, and I'm not. I disagree with a lot of things that he does on here. A lot of things that he does actually violates the code of ethics involving with the police department. Some of those violations include obstructing, interfering, which he does. And I mean, he does do that a lot. He constantly harasses them. He constantly posts their personal home addresses, which he did on there. He stalks police. He stalks news reporters in the past. He has done a lot of outrageous stuff in the past, which is not acceptable. And I basically, I'm appalled by it because he thinks that he can do whatever he wants and whenever he wants. But in reality, uh, several times here in Rochester, a couple of officers have been injured. One was killed. One officer, Daryl Pearson, was shot and killed while on duty. Another officer was shot in the back of the head. He survived, and he's lucky to be survived. That was Officer Anthony DePonzio, one of the greatest officers in the world. I got to talk to him on Facebook years ago. He's doing fine now, thank God, and praise him, praise the Lord that he's still able to go back to work like he is. But the whole problem is with Davey Vera is too that I find it very despicable that he would go out and just literally interfere in an officer's job while they are trying to detain a subject that is being searched. I mean, he's done that in the past. He's deliberately, has harassed cops. A couple of the officers that I know from the Rochester Police Department, Randy Benjamin, he's known as Rambo. He's a really good friend of mine. Me and Randy been friends for years. When he worked in the Maple section on the northeast side, northwest side of the city, uh, in Rochester. Well, I used to work over on in the city back then. But the problem being is now a lot of the people that are over in that neighborhood are kind of disgusted uh, with some of the things that's been happening over there. This has been problems with a lot of the shootings that have been on in there. To bring this up, but there's a lot of prostitution. Davey Vera did show one of the videos on his thing, which I do agree with that part. I'm not gonna lie about that. That's one thing I can agree with him in doing. I'm very glad that he did do it. So a guy from grounds guys picking up a prostitute, and he didn't mention my name though, because of the fact is that me and him we have our ins and outs right now, and which is kind of fine. I don't really give a shit. I really don't give a damn. But the thing is though, my problem is with Davey Vera, quote, that quote, is that he has really made a bad name for himself, made a bad rep for himself. He doesn't really represent what is called the media. If you notice, there are a lot of media outlets like 13 Wham, News 10 NBC, WROC, and Spectrum News, which is fake news to me because I call them fake news because they are fake news. I have no respect for them anyways for the years that what they've been doing to a lot of people here. And they don't really care for him as much either. So a lot of times you kind of like wonder what did he do to him? He does a lot of damage. I mean, he has done a lot of damage. And that is just personally, my opinion. Opinions like assholes, not everybody has one, but I'm not one of them sometimes. But I speak out what I gotta say. But mostly my concern was he has had problems with us. We have had problems with him in the past. We have had where he's coming up onto the page, our blogs, because we used to blogs like Blogspot. We had Blogspot for a while. He would come up on there. He would deliberately cuss at one of our admins, one of the admins that was with us. He's no longer with me anymore. He left. He was kind of pissed because he was calling him all kinds of nasty names. And that was part of the one problem right there. So we switched over to another web host, and he came on there. We finally got his IP address, and we blocked the IP address. But the problem was that he kept still getting on because he was using this program that was called the VPN program, which is where you can change your IP address and not be found. And he was constantly doing that for a while. And that was one of the biggest problems that we were dealing with at the time. So we kept blocking the IP addresses and kept blocking them. So eventually we wound up having to take another drastic step. I legally had to send him an email and to order him to cease and desist from any more activities with us, and that he would face federal charges if he didn't stop. So that came about, and then now all of a sudden, he's going around now claiming that his family is being threatened. That's not even true. I haven't seen anybody sending any threatening emails to him. He posts a lot of stuff up on his Twitter account, which is bogus because I already know those are not real emails to begin with. And he also had one of our emails that he ultimately changed and said that we sent him a threatening email, which we didn't. And that's the thing too. I mean, we just told him straight out, enough was enough. Stop what you're doing with us. We're not playing games with you anymore. You're wrecking you're disrupting our business that we're trying to do, and you're not helping by interfering, and which he was doing, and that was mostly what I had to contend with. I'm not trying to put him down. I mean, he has the right to his opinions. He has the right to voice his opinion. He does have a right to record, and you do have a right to record, as long as you are not interfering, okay, with police. You have a right to record, but you do not have the right to interfere. You do not have the right to interject yourself in police activity, in police matters. That means if they're doing an arrest, you need to step back. You can record, they have no problem with that, just as long as you're not interfering with them and you're not making them feel uncomfortable, okay, and you're not making a scene or causing a hazardous situation for them. That's all they care about. But when you got somebody like Dave Rivera who comes up on there all the time and he's doing all that, that's a big problem for them. I mean, I can understand where they're coming from, but it doesn't make it right that you got to go and interfere. Dave Rivera has done that on one occasion with one of the officers, Joel Hasper, who I don't know very well. I never met the man, but I did mention to one of the officers in the section that over here to get a hold of him that Davey has posted his family's picture on there with, I believe that was his children. That was another thing I don't agree with. I mean, you have a problem with the officer, that's one thing, but when you go and you post an officer's family members like you do, that's another thing. That I don't agree with. Okay? That I don't agree with at all. But then when you go out there and you start pushing this hidden agenda of yours to disrupt an officer doing his job, then I have a problem with that. Okay? He has done that not only with the RPD, he's done it with the Gates Police. A lot of the officers from the Gates Police Department don't like him at all. I know that for a damn fact because I know a lot of the officers in Gates. I know a lot of the officers from the Greece area, which I have known for years, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of them are kind of pissed at him right now. And that's one thing that he stays out of Greece because they don't want to deal with him. They already said they see him. He's gonna he's going to pay for what he has done to some of the officers out there, and they already warned me about that. So that's why I don't go into the Greece area a lot to do any stories in there, because I'm worried about them going after me next. That's why I'm afraid. But the point of the matter is, though, you do have a right to record. But another point I'm going to make too is that we have had issues with other incidents going on too. The denial of service attacks on the website, that has been happening too, and that also involves with Hal Turner's website as also. This is why I try not to post a lot of his stuff on my thing anymore. Because it's a big problem to where I got to deal with denial of service attack from somebody outside the area, and then they're making it a little bit more harder for me to do my stories, to get my stuff out there. I will post a news story, but before I do post a story, I usually check them. Like stories like with Spectrum News or Spectrum Cable. That's one of the stories that we covered a lot on here. And a lot of people are getting ready to leave Spectrum to go to Greenlight for their internet service, which is a 6 times faster internet service provider. People who live in the Rochester area, especially like in Gates, Greece, Arundecoit, Brighton, Henrietta, Pittsford, Penfield, those areas, Spencerport, can sign up for the service, and hopefully get the service as well. But the problem is, though, a lot of people, we've done stories about Spectrum, we've done stories about Greenlight in the past. We have done stories in the past with the legalization of marijuana. We've done the stories with 390 and Charlie Boulevard. Those stories are on here. You can see them for yourself on what I was doing and what my involvement was in some of the incidents as well, along with Marcassini, the town supervisor. And Marcassini even agreed with me on several occasions to where, the bridge needed to be repaired. And, okay, somebody's bound to get killed or somebody's bound to get hurt. And that's part of the problem right there. But I don't really think that anybody is going to, see, the new bridge until they go through there. The road is open now. We didn't announce that before we were shut down. And we let people know that the speed limit is 35. Going down Charlie Boulevard, you need to obey the speed limit. It's not 45, it's not 55, it's not 115. It's 35 miles an hour you need to go by. And you need to slow it down if you go through there. And I had a lot of people complain to me about it and come to me. And that's just part of the thing there. So what we're trying to do is, we're trying to give you a variety of news stories and everything. It's going to be a while, like I said, to get this page up and running. Hopefully I'm going to have it up by October 1st, but there may be a delay. So if that happens, kind of check back with it, and we will give you updates on here as much as we can. This YouTube channel is going to be changed to the same as the radio station. That's going to be added on to the news page as well. So we hope to God that you guys do get the chance to come to the website, visit the website. Feel free to look around. You'll see what we have on there onto the main page, and then you can just click onto the news page itself, and you'll be able to go on there and read the news stories that you probably would like to see. We're not going to, like I said, we're not going to post a bunch of bull crap on there. And we're going to try to keep it clean as much as we can. So hopefully that will deter a lot of the bullshit that has happened with us in the past. We're not going to be, posting like personal information. That's the one thing that we're going to try not to do. All right. So until then, let me get going. You guys take care. Check us out on the web very soon. I'll give you a date when it's available, and take care. Okay, I forgot how to turn this off. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.